The mesh isn't fabric anymore. It's trapped in deep black resin and turning into a luxurious black and silver tray set. Stay with me and watch the transformation. Hello everyone, welcome back to LisinCult Resin Lab. I'm Lida and today we are trying a really interesting resin experiment, transforming simple mesh fabric into a glossy, elegant resin tray and matching coasters. Stay with me for the process. I have already made a golden one using a deep edge hexagonal mold, and I love the shape and the warm metallic finish. But today I'm switching to the silver version, and I'm also changing the mold for a very practical reason. As you can see, the previous mold didn't give me a perfect, smooth, even surface, if I can capture it in camera. And even though I poured in layers and the mold has reinforcement ribs, they still weren't strong enough to handle the resin weight, so the surface ended up slightly uneven. This is the mold. It is too soft and flexible for a large resin pour, and honestly, it is just too thin to work for a tray. So there is an important reminder when working with big molds: quality, thickness, and firmness of the mold matter. But this round mold is thicker and much more rigid, perfect for a clean, thick, and even finish. So today I'm using this one, and I will also make matching coasters beside it, so we end up with a beautiful set. Okay, this technique has 3 steps: framing, basing, and sealing. Let's get started. For the framing step, we will start by filling the rim of the mold with resin mixed with black base to create a clean outer border. Low viscosity resin works best here because it flows into the details with minimal bubbles. If you are using a medium viscosity resin instead, you can rest your resin or warm it slightly, either with a heat gun or by giving the bottles a warm water bath before or after mixing. This helps thin the resin and reduces bubbles. But remember, warming shortens the working time. But here, it's fine for this stage. For this project, I'm using a low viscosity resin with a 3:1 mixing ratio, and we will need something about 120 grams in total, 90 grams of resin and 30 grams of hardener. If you are curious about how I calculated the resin for this step, you will find the full breakdown in the free PDF guide in the description box. For now, just relax and enjoy the process. Okay, our resin mixture is ready, but before pouring, mist the rim of the mold lightly with alcohol. This helps prevent bubbles from getting trapped along the rim. Pour the resin slowly, fill only the rim, level with the mold's base. Don't let the resin run into the main surface. This step is just for making the frame. I'm using a small cup for more control in this narrow area. Let's do it together. Okay, it's done. As you can see, the resin is level with the mold base. This layer only defines the edge and the center stays untouched. Check for the bubbles and then let this layer cure properly. Once it's fully set, we will move to the fun part. Alright, all the frames are fully cured, so we are ready for the basing step, a thin resin layer for fixing the silver mesh. There are a few key points to get right. Resin consistency. Use a high viscosity resin so you have more control while working. For this set, I'm using a high viscosity resin with the 1:1 mixing ratio, and we will need about 340 grams of total resin mixture. The second point is about cutting the mesh. Place the mesh on the mold and align it with the black frame, something like this. Use the frame edge as your cutting guide. Mark along that line and cut the mesh so it slightly overlaps the frame but doesn't touch the mold wall. That way it stays neatly inside the rim and won't be visible once we pour the final layer. If your mesh is a smaller than usual size, smaller than your mold size, like mine, no worries, just patch it with the small pieces. The texture hides it perfectly. And for saving time, I have already marked and cut my mesh for the tray and for 4 coasters. And the third point about placing the mesh. After pouring your resin, gently place the mesh on the top of the resin and don't press it down or let it stick to the mold base. We need a thin layer of resin beneath it, not the mesh glued flat. And the final tip, make sure neither the resin nor the mesh touches the mold walls. That way the outer edges stays clean and nothing shows once you demold the piece. Alright, let's do it together. First, make sure the mold is clean, then mix a little alcohol over it. We don't want bubbles. Now pour a thin even layer of resin, just enough for the mesh to rest on top. Spread it evenly and make sure there is no dry spots and trap bubble. Give it a quick torch. Now gently lay the mesh over the resin and adjust it in the position. Just make sure the front side is facing the resin. That's the part that shows after demolding. I think it's this side. Give it a few little taps on top of the mesh so it settles evenly without pushing the resin away. And if you spot any areas that look a bit dry, just drizzle a touch of resin over that. Check that everything is aligned, fully covered, and no corners are lifted. Now give the surface a quick gentle touch, just enough to pop any bubbles. But be careful not to burn the mesh. That's it. I will do the same process for the coasters too. Now cover your work and let them cure. The final layer comes next, and that's where everything comes together. See you then. Okay, our mesh layers are fully cured and time for the final touch, the sealing step. We just need to cover the surfaces with the black paste to give them a smooth, solid finish that blended perfectly with the edges. I'm using a fast cure resin and we will need something about 220 grams in total. Let's finish the work. Okay, pop any bubbles and cover the pieces. Once they are fully set, we will demold them and reveal the results. And while they cure, a quick like and subscribe would mean a lot. Alright, it's time for the best part, demolding. I can't wait to see the result. Let's do it. Sometimes demolding remolds can be a bit challenging, but look at this finish. It's so worth it. The surface is even, the walls are smooth, and the mesh is sealed beautifully inside. That rigid mold really made a difference, keeping the shape balanced and the surface perfectly flat. And that contrast, the deep black frame and background with the silver on top, gives such a rich modern look. It kind of looks like patina art, doesn't it? And the matching coasters? They carried the same elegance in every detail and complete the set perfectly. Look at them. So nice. Overall, the result is gorgeous, bold, sleek, and truly unique. Piece by piece, we turn experiments into art. Let's recap the key points for this experiment. Use a thick, rigid remold for a flat, even surface. Pick high viscosity resin for flow control. Pour a thin, even base of clear resin first, then place the mesh on top of it. Lay the mesh gently, don't press it hard. Keep a thin resin film between mesh and mold to prevent sticking. Align edges, no lifted corners. And torch lightly, high and moving. Don't scorch the mesh. Stick to these tips and you will nail this finish. Where silver carves through shadows of black, a calm elegance born from contrast. It's the kind of beauty born from precision, where every detail finds its balance and artistry finds its voice. If this contrast of silver and dark shadows caught your eye, subscribe for more moments where structure meets style, and hit the like button if you enjoyed. As always, you will find a free PDF guide and all related video link in the description box. Everything you need to explore this technique yourself. And don't forget to share your questions, suggestions, and recommendations in the comments. This is how we stay connected and learn from each other. Until the next time, keep turning contrast into beauty.